Uh, hello, hello, Miss. My name is Cassia, and today I want to share about project paper for report presentation. For the abstract is reading and writing skill that need to be mastered by preschool children age 5 and 6 based on the National Preschool Standard Curriculum (KSPK) syllabus 2000 2017. Reading and writing skill are early skill that need to be mastered by preschool children to ensure that their learning process develop healthily and smoothly. Reading and writing skills can be mastered by children when they receive early exposure to early literacy skill from the time the child is born until they reach the age of 6. This study aims to study or research the reading development of preschool children, research the factors of reading development of preschool children, and what is the role of reading materials and parents. This study was conducted using Google Form for several selected parents to answer the question. This is for chapter 1. For introduction, reading is a skill that human needs to master at the early age of 6 years at least. When children have exceptional reading skills, children will have great development in writing, speaking, and have exceptional academic achievement in the future. Reading also helps us to think logically, helps in solving problems. In this context, this study helped to identify or research the factors that influence reading skills among preschool children. Next is background of study. Preschool children in Malaysia are initial recommendation to form early literacy in reading. This is because reading at an early stage can help them understand the needs of situation. However, at present, there are various challenges faced by the teachers and parents in improving children's reading skills. Well, past studies have shown the factors such as parents providing support to children, appropriate reading material, and a good environment cause children's reading skill to occur. Next is problem statement. In Malaysia, there are many efforts or initiatives in helping children improve their reading skill. However, there are also many shortcomings in improving their reading skills, such as lack of effort in their daily improving reading skills, and the way to attract children interest in reading is not suitable for their interest. Therefore, this study is to investigate the factor that influence reading skills among preschool children. This is a research objective. For the first research objective is identifying factors that influence reading skills among children. Second is analyze the role of parents in providing reading skills support among preschool children. And the last one is the use of reading materials for children in improving reading skill. For research question, for one is what factor influence reading skills among children? The second one is what is the roles of parents in supporting preschool children in reading skill? Last one is how does reading material affect children reading skill? This is a significance of study. The importance of this study is to show and to make educators and parents aware of the importance of reading skill for children at an early age. This is because reading at an early age can help children master the 3 M scale, namely writing, reading, and arithmetic, which need to be mastered from preschool. The result of this study also helped to make the community aware of the importance of teaching children to read from an early age and provide effectively intervention programs to help children overcome various challenges to improve their reading skill. Okay, the next one is chapter 2. This section discusses post-study related to the reading skills among preschool children as well as the theory that support this study. Relevant post-study. Previous studies have shown a support for early exposure to reading skill. For example, is children children easily absorb learning from their environment at an early age. It from the age of infancy to 6 years they are given exposure to language and literacy, then the children literacy skill will develop rapidly. This is Prime Minister Office 2030. The theoretical framework for this study will refer to nativist theories, which is a specific theories related to children language acquisition. acquisition. Based on nativist theory, early exposure is very important to encourage children to acquire vocabulary to use of storytelling and conversation methods will help children build language knowledge well. The conceptual framework is this conceptual which illustrates the relationship between reading materials, the role of parents, and reading skill among children. This is for chapter 3. This chapter describes the methodology used to conduct research on reading skills among preschool children. For research design, the design of this study is qualitative. For the instrument used was data collection via Google Form to find out children exposed to reading material and parents supported. For the participant in this study were preschool children between 5 and 6 year olds and their parents. For the data collection procedure, the data will collect via a Google form that has been given to the parent via the WhatsApp application. For the data analysis procedure, the data will be analyzed using a statistical graph to see how children has exposed to reading material, parental support for children interest in reading, and the development of children reading skill. When this procedure is done, it can cause students who study this to study to be able to conduct research systematically and thoroughly. For the chapter 4, in this section we will discuss the finding. Finding for research one is what the factor influence the reading skills among preschool children. The factor that influence a child interest in reading a colorful book that can encourage children to read books. In addition, the environment factor when someone reads a book, they will follow suit. It is said to emulate the example of their parents and those around them. And the third factor is the family ability to buy books that are appropriate for today's time. Finding for research question 2 is what is the role parents in supporting preschool children in reading skill? The role of parents is very important in providing reading materials and accompanying children to read. This role is very important to foster a children enthusiasm for reading. Providing age-appropriate reading material allows children to think critically and innovatively. For finding research question 3 is how does reading material affect children's reading skills? Appropriate and varied reading skills allow children to recognize many words and pictures. A wide variety of books allow children to have words to say and ask about at all times when they feel they do not understand. Children can also read their books repeatedly to gain additional understanding. By reading many reading materials, children will gain a rich vocabulary every day. This for chapter 5, this section discusses the result of research on reading among preschoolers. This section also analyzes the finding of the three research questions. What the fact for the research question one is what the factor influence reading skills among preschool children? The first factor for this environment or surrounding. A good environment and surrounding can improve a children's reading development. This is because when the child environment is educated, people around them always show and teach them how to read correctly. It can increase their interest in reading well. Second is social and emotional for a preschool children. If a child has an interest in reading and an interest in books, then the child tends to have good reading development. They have motivation when they see a book to read. If children are less interested in a book and less interested in reading, then they are less exposed to reading development. Socializing with others, always asking what is in the books if they do not understand well can develop their mind in reading. For the lastly is the family economic situation. There are only half of the family who can afford to buy books for their children to read, from technology books, Malay, English, and so on. When the family who can afford to buy reading material cause children to be exposed to a lot of knowledge, while children whose family economic quite well of sometimes only use same old item to read. So their knowledge about development in the world and the present is less. For the research question one, what is the rule? For the research question two is what is the role of parents in supporting preschool children in reading skill? The result of this study show that the role of parent is very important in helping children read. Parents can do activities such as reading book with their children at the night before bed or during the free time of the day. Reading together foster children interest in the storybooks or discussion books. In spending time reading, parents can ask questions about the content of the book so that children remember what they read. Parents also play a role in providing children with reading material. Complete reading material makes children enthusiastic reading enthusiastic about reading. Reading material are important to increase their knowledge when reading. Books that are interesting and have important content to confide the children stimulate children's brain development. The last question for question 3 is how does reading material affect children reading skill? The result of the study showed that appropriate and very varied reading material will keep children interested in something. Children tend to be interested in books that illustrate and colorful. Books that are appropriate for their age are important to recognize their reading level. Reading materials such as storybooks relate to the various stories such as folk tales or science and technology books allow children to think critically and innovatively. Their King develop when they read such book, not only their thinking but also their cognitive development. For future recommendation is based on the finding of the study. Several suggestions for the future are that the government can run a reading program with preschool children. Government can also encourage parents to participate in the program to monitor their children's development while reading. Second is teachers are also encouraged to do a training that teach them how to attract children interest in reading. Third is the community can donate reading material to the school to keep the books in the classroom to be donated to children who are economically disadvantaged. The implication of this study is that early reading for children needs to be implemented from the beginning to form children who are interested in reading. The factor a role of parents play an important role in form, forming children reading skill and the reading skill from the beginning. Children who are exposed to reading materials help them recognize every word spoken at all times. For the conclusion is this interest in reading is influenced by many other factors in this study. We can see that interest reading material and the roles of parents in interest children interest in reading are the key to the development of their interest in reading. We can take good steps in improving. That's all from me. Thank you.